Hello students. So we can see another topic that's coming under the second part of human resource management or personal management or staffing. The first element we have seen, that is recruitment, and the second element is the selection, then the placement or deployment, and the retention. We can see it here. Okay, this slide. So we know that what do you mean by selection? Selection is the process of choosing the fit candidate, that means the right candidate, or rejecting the unfit or unsuitable candidates, or a combination of both. And it's given by Thomas S. Stone. Another simple definition is that we are selecting the right candidate for the right position or right placement. So that is the simple meaning of selection. I think it's clear. Then what are the importance of selection? So the first one is it leads to build up suitable workforce. That means the right person in the right place. That is the first important. Second one, it helps to bring competent and skilled nurses or skilled staff nurses or person with higher efficiency in providing the quality nursing care. Our main aim is to provide quality nursing care for that. The next is provide high quality care. That already you know that we have to provide high quality care to the patient with a competent nurse. Then to fulfill organizational goal. So to achieve the organizational goal, that's very important. Then comes the low turnover. If you are placing right person in the right position, so we can avoid the turnover of the right employee. Then less occupational hazards. If competent persons we are selecting, we can have a less negligence and errors, so we can avoid the occupational hazards. Then less negligence also is there. Then select the nurses dedicate and hardworking nurses to the position. Then we can improve the quality of the organization also. These all are the importance of selection. Then comes the selection process. Selection process has three main phases. First one is the pre-selection, second one interview, third one is assessment. What do you mean by pre-selection? It's a part of recruitment and it involves defining the job and deciding what type of candidate are required. So here we are seeing that the type of candidates what we require, we are choosing that. Okay. So during this stage we are checking the application and we are scrutinizing that. Otherwise we will call it as shortlisting them for the interview. Second stage is the interview. That's the eligible candidates are notified and asked to face the selection committee and they have to come for that and attend the interview. Third one is assessment. In this stage the candidates are assessed to predict how they are likely to behave in the future. So how they are performing, they are going to perform in the organization. So that we can assess during the time of this interview. So these all are the main three phases. So we can see the steps in selection process. So that schematically it is here, the selection process. The first step is the receipt of application. So that's a process of selection start with the receiving, screening and scrutinizing the application. So application is preliminary sorting devices to provide information. So automatically we are checking that. Then comes the initial screening and scrutiny of application. So in the initial screening there are two steps are there, initial screening and scrutinizing. So we are checking we are checking receiving applications with their supporting documents. Second step is the application of scrutiny. So all completed applications checking by the scrutiny committee, they are checking the completion of the application form and looking for any gap or any date or any incomplete filling of the columns. So they are looking for that. Then third one is the receiving the application. After that, we are completion of the final screening, we are selecting test, we are conducting for that. In the final screening, the scrutiny committee again check it and verify scrutinized applications, and they are preparing a checklist of the eligible candidates as per the requirements of the said post. Then selection test. Usually the selection test that may be selection by qualification and experience. So they are only appearing for the interview. Directly they can appear. Second method is the merit system. That's also a direct recruitment. They are appearing for a written test and then followed by the interview or viva and determine the merit by their performance. So that is the second one. So there are different types of tests are there. We are not going in detail about that test. Maybe achievement test or aptitude test, intelligence test or neuropsychological test, functional test, personality test. So these all tests are according to the need of that organization, how they are performing. Then comes the preliminary interview. This preliminary interview is the core of the selection process. So that we know that fundamentally different from the clinical interview in terms of its aim, structure, rules and technique. It is structured one, and they are the candidates, they are selecting by the or they are calling by the selection committee on the basis of that merit list, and after the screening they will conduct the interview in front of a panel of experts, and the experts, they will assess the strength and weakness of the candidates. Then comes the recommendation and checking references. So that many organizations ask the candidate to provide names of the references to whom they are known persons about the candidate's ability and personality. Usually from the previous institution. അവർ നേരത്തെ വർക്ക് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരുന്ന ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷനിലോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവർ പഠിച്ചിരുന്ന ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷനിലോ മേ ബി ഹെഡ് ഓഫ് ദാറ്റ് ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷനോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അങ്ങനെയുള്ളവരാണ് ഇവിടെ റെക്കമെൻഡേഷനും റെഫറൻസിനും വേണ്ടി നമ്മൾ സപ്പോസ് ടു സബ്മിറ്റ് എന്ന് പറയാറ്. ഓക്കെ. Then comes the medical examination. Pre-employment medical examination എല്ലാ ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ടിലും ഉണ്ട്. മെഡിക്കൽ ബോർഡ് അവർ അപ്പോയിൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നതായിരിക്കാം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവർ സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നതായിരിക്കാം. അതനുസരിച്ചാണ് മെഡിക്കൽ ബോർഡ് മെഡിക്കൽ എക്സാമിനേഷൻ കണ്ടക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. Then comes the final selection, approval and issuing of the appointment letter. So after the candidates clears all the hurdles on the selection procedures, then they are recommending for the selection. Her name recommended for selection by the selection committee, and finally they are sent for the approval of the competent authority. They are looking for that. Then the last step in the selection process is the placement and orientation. So placement is the process of fitting the selected person at the right job or right place. So it is a process of assigning a specific job to each of the selected candidates. So after that final selection, approval and issuing of the appointment order, we are calling a date, fixing a date and calling by the employee, and they are placing or we are appointing them. So proper placement has some advantages. That's avoid misfit between the candidate and position. Right person in the right position. Then we can improve the efficiency with the high morale. Then increase the employee satisfaction and motivation of the employees. Then the employees dedicate and commit to the work. So employees can more interested and involved in the work. Then minimize the errors and the negligence rate, and they can reduce the turnover and absenteeism. These all are the advantages of placement. Then we are giving orientation to the employees. So during the orientation, they are made aware about the mission, vision of the organization, nature of work, and then details of their task. Everything is there. We are not going in detail about that steps. So these all are the steps in selection process. So you can see that any of this process or steps, maybe we can reject the candidate. Okay, any process from the reception of application till the final selection and placement, we can reject the employees. I think the steps are clear. Then there is a usual question regarding the recruitment and selection. Okay, difference between recruitment and selection during your university examination. So the common differences are in the meaning, then objective, process, approach, technique, sequence, economy, period, and outcome. So the differences are meaning. It is a process of searching candidates and making them apply for the same. Selection is the process of selection of right type of candidate and offering them job. Second difference is objectives, to attract a maximum number of candidate under recruitment. Under the selection, choose the best candidate. Process, under the recruitment, it's creating an application post, then rejecting more candidate under the selection. Approach, positive approach and negative approach. Technique, there does not require high skill, but selection requires specialized skill. Sequence, proceeds some selection and it follows recruitment. Then economy, economical method but expensive the selection. Period, less time is required, more time required. Then outcome, application pool in input for selection, and then finalizing candidate and offering the job. So these all are the common difference between recruitment and selection. So it's very important during the university exam. I think this selection is clear. Then comes the deployment. So deployment is a process of moving or allocating an individual to a different function, position within the organization structure. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു ഓർഗനൈസേഷനിൽ തന്നെ ഒരു എംപ്ലോയിനെ ഒരു സ്ഥാനത്തു നിന്ന് മറ്റൊരു സ്ഥാനത്തേക്ക് മാറ്റുന്നതിന് നമ്മൾ ഡിപ്ലോയ്മെൻ്റ് എന്ന് പറയും. പ്ലേസ്മെൻറ്റ് ആൻഡ് ഡിപ്ലോയ്മെൻറ്റ് ആർ ഇൻ്റർചേഞ്ചബിൾ ടേംസ് ആണ്. സംടൈംസ് സൈമൾട്ടേനിയസ്ലി ദേ ആർ യൂസിങ് ദാറ്റ്. ഡിപ്ലോയ്മെൻറ്റ് ഇസ് മൂവിങ് ഓർ ഷിഫ്റ്റിംഗ് സ്റ്റാഫ് ഫ്രം ദ കറൻറ്റ് പ്ലേസ് ഓഫ് വർക്ക് ടു അതേഴ്സ്. ജസ്റ്റ് ഷിഫ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നേ ഉള്ളൂ, പക്ഷേ അവർ സെയിം ടാസ്ക് തന്നെയാണ്. മേ ബി കുറച്ച് വേരിയേഷനുള്ള ടാസ്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നതേ ഉള്ളൂ within the organization. Then what are the types? Interlocation deployment, interdepartmental deployment, intradepartmental, redesigning, short term. So interlocating deployment means shifting or relocating staff from current main branch of the organization to relocating. അപ്പോൾ അവരുടെ ഒറിജിനൽ ലൊക്കേഷനിൽ നിന്ന് അവരൊരു ന്യൂ ജോഗ്രഫിക്കൽ ഏരിയയിലോട്ട് അവർ ഷിഫ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നതിനാണ് നമ്മൾ ഇൻ്റർലൊക്കേറ്റിംഗ് ഡിപ്ലോയ്മെൻ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. മേ ബി വേറൊരു ബ്രാഞ്ചിലോട്ടായിരിക്കാം. ഓക്കെ. സെക്കൻഡ് വൺ ഈസ് ദ ഇൻ്റർഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെൻറ്റൽ. Interdepartmental is shifting staff from the current department to the another department. Okay. മെഡിക്കലിൽ നിന്ന് സർജിക്കലിലോട്ടൊക്കെ മാറ്റുന്നതിനാണ്. തേർഡ്, ഇൻട്രാ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെൻറ്റ്. ഒരേ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെൻറ്റ്, വിതിൻ ദ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെൻറ്റ് ഇറ്റ് സെൽഫ് വി ആർ മൂവിങ് ദ സ്റ്റാഫ്. Okay, maybe from maternity ward to the gynae ward or prenatal to postnatal, like that. Then redesigning, shifting to other workstations, that is the redesigning. Then short term, that's for a short period, maybe for a month or hours, like that we are shifting the employees. Then what are the advantages of this deployment? That may be face few challenges, become more productive and innovative the employees are. Then they become more committed, loyal and satisfied to work in the different setting. Some of the employees, they are very interested in working the other setting. Then develop a more positive attitude towards the work, they are more committed. Then personal growth is there for the employees, enhance the organizing, communication and developmental skill. Then employees are hard-working nature. They will adjust physically, emotionally, psychologically and socially in different environment. So these all are the advantages of deployment. Then the disadvantages. The important one, frustration and stress among the employees. Frustration and stress may be sometimes there with the employees in the new place. Then poor performance of the low level initiative and productivity may be there. Then high turnover or absenteeism may be there. Then a negative attitude towards the administration and work. Then intrapersonal conflict. Then emotional instability. Then role conflict, emotional distress. Then interpersonal conflict, poor physical and emotional and psychological and social adjustment. So these all are the disadvantages of deployment. I think the deployment is clear. We have seen the meaning and the types, advantages and disadvantages. Then comes the retention. Retention of the employees as a technique adopted in the organization to maintain a productive workforce and to meet organizational requirement. റിട്ടേൺ ചെയ്യുക എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മളവിടെ ആ എംപ്ലോയി അവിടെ കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്യുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ് അതിൻ്റെ അർത്ഥം. ഓക്കെ, റീടെൻഷൻ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഓക്കെ, കീപ്പിംഗ് ദ എംപ്ലോയീസ് ടു സ്റ്റേ ഇൻ ദ ഓർഗനൈസേഷൻ ഫോർ എ മാക്സിമം പീരിയഡ്, അതാണ് അതിൻ്റെ ശരിയായ മീനിങ്. വാട്ട് ആർ ദ ബെനിഫിറ്റ്സ്? So it is cost effective because same employee is continuing, and second one is prevent loss of intellectual resources. Intellectual retention, reduce the turnover, helps in maintain goodwill of organization. Okay, ഒരു ഓർഗനൈസേഷനിൽ എംപ്ലോയീസ് സ്റ്റേബിളായിട്ട് നിൽക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ആ ഓർഗനൈസേഷനെ കുറിച്ച് നല്ലൊരു അഭിപ്രായമാണ്. Then what are the determining factors in retention? Personal and professional growth of the employees. Then remuneration and benefits. There is a hike in the pay or maybe regular benefits and all. Then skill recognition and reward for the excellent performance and motivation factors, job satisfaction. Then job security, other essential determining factor. Then works like balance, ലൈഫ് വർക്ക് ബാലൻസ്, അവർ പേഴ്സണൽ ലൈഫ് ആൻഡ് ദെയർ വർക്ക് തമ്മിലുള്ള ബാലൻസ് ദേ ആർ കീപ്പിംഗ്. ദെൻ വർക്ക് എൻവയോൺമെൻറ്റ് ഈസ് ഹെൽത്തി ആണെങ്കിൽ ദെൻ സോഷ്യൽ സപ്പോർട്ട് സിസ്റ്റം ഈസ് ദെയർ ഉണ്ടോ എന്ന് നോക്കുക. ദെൻ ഓട്ടോണോമി ഓഫ് ദ എംപ്ലോയി. ദെൻ കംസ് ദ ട്രെയിനിങ് ആൻഡ് കരിയർ ഡെവലപ്മെൻറ്റ് ഓപ്പർച്യൂണിറ്റീസ് ആർ ദെയർ ഓർ നോട്ട് ഇൻ ദ ഓർഗനൈസേഷൻ. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഓൾസോ, these all are some of the determining factor for the retention of the employees. Then strategies to retain the employees. Better retention policy to be there in the organization. Then we have to give some induction and orientation training, job satisfaction of the employees. Then building trust and confidence among the employees. Then empowerment of the employees. Then building relationship within the organization. Then recognition and a reward for the right person for their right work. Then stress management, how they are doing that in the organization. Then competitive compensation and benefits to the employees, salaries and increments adequate when they are comparing to the other organization. These all are the strategies to retain the employees. So I think all the slides are clear. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Here we have seen that the selection, placement, deployment and retention. So these all are the elements of staffing process and personal management process and human resource management process. So usually during your university exam, maybe individually they can ask or they can ask us a essay question also. I think it's clear. Okay, we can see with another slide. Those who have not seen the other videos, you just see that and subscribe my channel also. Okay students, we can see with another video.